This presentation is my strategic dimensions analysis of CVS Health. My last presentation focused more on CVS's current position. For this analysis, I'm shifting into strategy formulation. So the focus here is how CVS competes at the business level, how it grows at the corporate level, and how its mostly domestic strategy still connects to global pressures. So here's the roadmap. I'll start with a quick company recap, then move into business strategy, corporate strategy, global strategy, and then integration with a strategic leadership perspective. The main objective is to explain CVS's strategic choices and whether those choices work together. So we'll begin with a quick company context recap. CVS Health is not just a place where people pick up prescriptions. The company has pharmacy stores, Caremark Pharmacy Benefit Management, Aetna Health Benefits, retail clinics, Oak Street Health, and Signify Health. That matters because the strategy is built around integration. CVS's stated purpose is to simplify healthcare, and its business model is trying to connect pieces of care that are usually fragmented. The second section is business strategy. This is where I'm looking at how CVS competes, especially whether it is mainly using cost leadership, differentiation, or some combination of both. Using Porter's generic strategies, I would not call CVS a pure cost leader. Scale does help CVS manage cost pressure, but the company is not trying to win only by being the cheapest provider. Its stronger strategy is differentiation. CVS is trying to stand out by offering a more connected healthcare experience through pharmacy, insurance, prescription benefits, clinics, and care delivery. Oak Street Health also gives CVS a more focused differentiation position in senior primary care. The business strategy also has to balance value drivers and cost drivers. On the value side, CVS has convenience, a national footprint, an integrated model, and data across multiple parts of the healthcare experience. On the cost side, it is dealing with drug cost pressure, labor, technology investment, acquisition integration, and regulation. So CVS's strategy only works if integration creates enough value to make the complexity worth it. My business strategy verdict is that CVS's differentiation strategy makes sense, but it's not just automatic. The company can claim it simplifies healthcare, but customers have to actually feel that. If patients still experience long waits, confusing benefits, unclear pricing, or disconnected care, then the strategy loses credibility quickly. CVS's business strategy supports competitive advantage when it connects services in a way that is noticeably easier for the customer. So next is corporate strategy. This section is really important for CVS because the company's biggest strategic story is how it has expanded across several related parts of healthcare. Corporate strategy asks what businesses the company should be in. CVS's answer has been vertical integration and related diversification. It is not randomly expanding into unrelated businesses. Pharmacy, PBM, insurance, clinics, senior care, and home health all connect to the healthcare experience. The logic is that CVS can create more value if these pieces work together, but that also makes the company a lot more complex to manage. The build, borrow, buy framework is helpful here because CVS has grown through all three paths. It builds internal tools and workflows, borrows through partnerships and vendor relationships, and buys capabilities through acquisitions. The buy strategy is the clearest pattern. CVS bought Caremark, Aetna, Oak Street Health, and Signify Health to expand quickly. That gives CVS speed, but the risk is that buying companies is not the same as integrating them well. The BCG style view is not meant to be a precise market share calculation. It is a way to think about CVS's portfolio. Pharmacy, Caremark, and Aetna are the core scale assets. Care delivery and digital navigation are growth areas. Oak Street and Signify have potential, but they also have the biggest integration risk. Some retail locations may need to be repositioned or closed if they do not support the broader healthcare strategy. My corporate strategy verdict is that CVS's strategy is coherent, but it's not easy. The businesses fit together on paper because they all connect to healthcare. But in real life and application, integrating pharmacy, insurance, benefits management, clinics, and home health requires extremely strong execution. The company has to manage operations, culture, technology, compliance, and trust across very different parts of the business. The global strategy section is a little different for CVS. CVS isn't like Nike or Apple or McDonald's. All of those corporations have large international consumer footprints, so that type of global strategy doesn't really fit CVS. For global strategy, my honest answer is that CVS is primarily domestically concentrated. It does not compete internationally the same way a global retailer or consumer brand does. Its healthcare model is deeply tied to the United States system, but global strategy still matters because drug supply chains, technology, AI, inflation, and healthcare innovation are not contained inside of one country. So I would describe CVS as domestic concentration with global exposure. The visual shows how CVS can be domestic and still affected by global forces. Prescription drugs, supply chains, digital health tools, AI ethics, labor trends, and customer expectations are all connected to broader global changes. So for CVS, global strategy is less about entering foreign consumer markets and more about learning from global innovation while managing supply chain and technology risk. Now I'm going to pull all three levels together. The question is whether CVS's business strategy, corporate strategy, and global positioning tell one coherent story. In my opinion, the strategies do fit together. CVS differentiates through connected care. Its corporate strategy supports that by owning or acquiring related healthcare capabilities. Its global strategy is more limited, but it still has to manage supply chain and technology pressures. The overall direction is aligned with CVS's purpose of simplifying healthcare. The challenge is not whether the strategy makes sense on paper, the challenge is execution and trust. AI was useful for organizing this assignment, comparing frameworks, and helping me think through visuals, but it still needed interpretation. For example, AI could easily overstate CVS's global strategy if I did not check it against the company's actual business model. The same is true with recommendations. AI can generate ideas quickly, but I still had to decide what actually fits CVS and what was too generic. AI was extremely useful as a sounding board for my own recommendation ideas, however. The final section is the strategic leadership perspective. This is where the analysis moves from describing CVS to thinking about what leaders should actually do with this information. A strategic leader at CVS should use this analysis to focus resources on integration, not just expansion. CVS is already big. The real leadership question is whether all of its parts can work together in a way that customers trust. That requires change management, ethical judgment, communication, and a culture that can handle innovation without losing sight of the patient. Overall, CVS has a pretty coherent strategy. Its business strategy, corporate strategy, and domestic concentration all point towards integrated healthcare. But the company does not need to prove that it can continue to get bigger. It needs to prove that its size makes healthcare simpler and more trustworthy. That is where strategic leadership matters. Without execution, integration is just complexity. And then, of course, these are my references.